everybody. I'm Rebecca from Thieving Otter Farm,
And I'm Leah with Southern Biophiliac Urban Farm.
and we are Two Chicks Coturnix bringing you the scoop
Not the poop.
on Coturnix quail. So it is time for our Christmas special, and we thought we'd do something a little bit different this time.
Yeah. We're going to take it all the way back to the beginning.
Yep. Let's go to the very beginning and we want to talk about how we got started in quail and how we met each other and developed our friendship, how we started Two Chicks, and then we have some other questions that people want to know.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Okay, Leah, how'd you get started in quail?
Okay, so I got started specifically, I was looking for some way that I could raise meat and eggs in my backyard because at the time we weren't allowed to have chickens. So I was preparing to get rabbits. I remember this like explicitly. I was looking into rabbit breeders. I bought my hutches. I had everything ready to go. And one of my friends one day sent me a video, and it was quail versus rabbits. And I watched it. And I was like, okay, I might try these little birds out first. And that's what happened. It went all crazy from there.
I totally see an episode for Two Chicks now.
Yeah.
We're doing that next, okay?
Sounds good.
So how did it start for you? Where'd you get your eggs? Like,
oh
what
gosh,
did you
this
get?
is
What
like
color?
a drama. Like
I got to hear all the things.
whole drama. So I was trying to find someone locally to me that had eggs or birds or something.
Yeah.
And I was searching and searching and searching. Of course, I was watching like a million YouTube videos and whatnot to try to figure out. I didn't even know what a quail was at the time. And I found someone local to me that was like a couple hours north that she would randomly post up that she had hatching eggs. And every time I would message her, she's like, I won't hold, I don't hold, I don't hold. And I'm like, I can't just drop and leave work to come pick up eggs. So right. I was like, well, after a few months of going through all those shenanigans, I decided to order some.
Okay. And what did you start with? What colors? What variety? Standard, jumbo?
My whole plan, this is how plans can get skewed. My whole entire plan is I was going to have like a covey of 12 jumbo browns. I was just going to, hatch eggs every few weeks, supply meat in the freezer, and go from there.
Okay.
Well, then I saw there were colors. So I ordered just an assortment of, I ordered 50 eggs. I got sent 60, but I ordered just an assortment of colors. And I went way down this rabbit hole.
Okay, I get it. See, what our viewers may not know is that you and I are twins. Yeah. Because that's a very similar story for me. So yeah. Okay, so my quail story. I used to raise chickens and had other poultry and stuff. But when I moved back in 2018, I decided to start over fresh. I was moving to a place that didn't have infrastructure for animals yet. So okay. I didn't want to bring all of my chickens and stuff and not have anywhere to put them. And so I was just like, I'm just going to sell all of my poultry and stuff. And then if I decide to get them later on, I'll build and then get them. So I didn't have any until COVID hit. And when COVID hit, I went, you know what? I want to be a little bit more self-sustainable. There's no telling what could happen with COVID. There might be some food, shortages or something. So we put in a huge garden and I broke out all my canning stuff. And I mean, I went full homesteader. Okay.
Awesome.
And in the process of that, we decided to get chickens again. And I got 9 chicks and a rooster. And then chicken math happened. Honestly, I don't even remember. It was just like we went down to the feed store kind of thing.
Yeah, gotcha. That's how everybody starts, I swear.
Yep, yep. So unfortunately, we didn't predator proof very well, and I thought that the fencing that we had was good enough, and it wasn't. And a fox got in and kind of wiped a bunch of them out.
Aw.
And so then we started replacing some, and then I was like, you know what? Everybody got into chickens. Like if you remember back in COVID, everybody wanted chicken.
Yeah,
So
everybody did.
the only one in panic mode. But I was like, all right, if people want chickens, I'll breed chickens.
Yeah.
And I had a dog boarding business. So because of the lockdown, I didn't have a business anymore because people weren't traveling. They weren't
Right.
anywhere. So I have a lot of free time on my hands. So I started getting chicken breeds and breeding chickens. And of course, I already knew how to do all those things. It wasn't new to me. Well, I made chicken friends. Okay. One of my chicken friends called me up one day and said, I've got these quail. I've got standards and jumbo, and I don't want my standards anymore. I just want to keep the jumbo. I'll give them to you for the cost of the cage, which is $40. And I was like,
That sounds like a deal.
yeah. I was like, I don't even know how to say the type of quail these things are. I was like, Coturnix? Like, what?
I've seen it spelled a million different ways.
Yeah, excuse me, sorry. But yeah, I was just like, well, if I don't like them, they'll taste good, right? Like, I'm not afraid to eat, something. So yeah, I got like a dozen. They were just like farrow. They were just, whatever, just regular old. And then the same thing happened. I discovered that they were pretty cool birds. I liked them. But two, I started researching them because unlike you, who went and did the research first and then decided to get them, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come pick up these birds. And I'm like, all right, Google, help me out. What do I do with them?
And the information is so limited then too.
I know. So I started joining groups and stuff, but then I learned that they came in other colors. And I already was a chicken nerd when it came to breeding and genetics. Now, my chicken genetics are not as good as quail genetics. So please do not take this as an opportunity to start asking me chicken genetics questions, listeners.
Mine is very limited too.
Yeah, I have just a finite amount of space in my brain to hold genetics, and all the chicken genetics got pushed out to make way for quail genetics. So I can't help you. But yeah, I fell down the rabbit hole, and then I just started buying eggs off of eBay, kind of flipping through and go, oh, those are pretty. Yeah, those are pretty. Those are pretty. I didn't know anything about who the good breeders were, what different colors. I was just like, ooh, pretty pictures. Purchase, buy now. So I really quickly acquired a whole lot of different colors. And then I threw them all in the same cage.
Priceless.
So I very quickly made genetic soup. And get this, the first cage that we got. So I had bought this cage and I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's so short. I don't want to keep my birds in this. So Frank built me a quail cage, and it was like all the wrong things, like all the things we tell people not to do.
Yeah,
like it's like 3 feet high. And I was like, why are birds breaking their necks? I don't understand. Yeah, I did all the wrong things, but I learned along the way. So that was cool. And then in the process of I started learning more. And the process of taking that genetic soup and unsoupifying it, of picking apart each of the genes and learning about them, really made me a good breeder. I think it was that hard work of learning how to pull those things out and make them, make each line my own. That was where I really started understanding quail genetics and stuff a lot more.
Yeah, the first group of birds, they didn't have around for very long because it was just a mixed batch. Some were jumbos, some were standard. I didn't know what the colors were. I remember I was immediately like sourcing out and trying to figure that out.
Yep.
And, yeah.
I was looking through some of the pictures of my original birds the other day.
I still have
And
mine too.
not only did I do everything wrong with the cage, I did everything wrong with I was that person in the genetics group that was holding my bird in the most awkward, awful positions with my hand covering up most of the bird in like sunset. So the orange from the sunset was making my bird's weird colors, going, "What is this?" I'm very
We all
grateful
do
to
that.
yes, I'm very grateful to the kind people who helped me learn. You
Same.
know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have mentors
Yes. Yes.
who
Lots of
took the
mentors. Yeah.
time to answer my questions. And, these were like people who, they're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs waiting for, me to send them horrible pictures of my
And
birds.
500 questions.
Right. But Michael Rose, Katie Agali, Tamara Rousel, Martin Yardley, those are just a few of the people that I could go to and would answer my questions in a kind manner. And oh gosh, I'm so grateful for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful to have connected with you and talking to Michael and some other breeders too. It's like night and day difference on how far you can go with when you surround yourself with good people.
Yeah. Well, and it's really hard. You know what the quail groups are like. You could post a picture of something really basic and you're probably going to get at least 25 different answers as to what
and all different directions too.
Yeah. So it's really hard. And there really aren't a whole lot of resources out there as far as books or websites and stuff for
and then
learning.
You're adding in everybody's opinions as well. So
yeah,
it gets
totally
skewed quite a bit.
Yep. And that's just on color genetics. That's not even getting into all the other stuff.
The nitty-gritty, right?
So, yeah. And, now that we're talking about mentorship and stuff, I guess we should probably bring up, that's actually how you and I started talking.
Yeah, it is. So, like, basically how it started, like, I remember messaging you a few genetics questions at one point, but I remember, like, I signed up for consult call.
Yeah. You actually paid for a consult.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had a great, we talked for like 2 hours, if I remember.
It was a long time. I remember.
Yeah.
A long time. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah. And yeah, I mean, after that, you're like, oh, you call me, message me anytime. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, because you weren't ready to.
Annoying, but
you're like, I'm gonna go ahead and pay for another call, and whatever. I was like, no, I like talking to you. Like, this is fun. We can geek out on quail. But it was great because you learned so fast. I mean, you picked up stuff way faster than I picked up stuff.
I'm glad that I was able to do that. Because it's a lot. It's a lot to learn.
It is.
Sure. Yeah.
It is. But it was great because, now I see you as a peer. At the time I was kind of teaching you, but now it's great because you've caught up, you've learned the stuff, and now we can just geek out on quail.
Bounce ideas off each other and whatnot.
I love it.
It's been so much fun.
So, okay, somebody asked how Two Chix came about.
That's my fault. That's my fault. I think I bugged you for a good 4 weeks or something before you gave in.
Yeah, well, I've actually been approached by somebody else to do a podcast. And I, for the longest time, I kind of went back and forth. If I commit to something, I want to be able to, I don't do anything part way.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, I'd love to, but I just don't know if I have the time and stuff. And basically you came to me and you're like, I'll do most of the work. You want to join me? I'm like, well, okay.
I think we're pretty much 50-50 on a lot of it though.
Yeah, we've balanced it out a lot more, but in the beginning, you still do all the editing, for the most part. I
Most of
jump
the
in,
time, unless I'm
yeah,
having a bad
and
day.
and you're the one who uploads the video and the audio, and
But you're the web page whiz.
yep, yep. So,
So
but hold on a second.
yeah, you're good.
Had to mute there for a second. Oh, these allergies are awful. But yeah, we've learned to kind of balance things out and work as a team. Um, and it's been great. I think one of the things that I've loved the most about Two Chicks is when we got our theme song.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah, that really like made it feel real. I guess for me, it did. And then of course, and when we got our logo too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm gonna pop this up here real quick.
Well, we should. Yeah, we should also talk about how we got our name.
Yes, yes.
That took us a good, I think, 3 days to like nail it down.
Yeah, absolutely. While I've got this popped up, since we talked about our theme song that was done by Josh Kaler, he is actually a musician in Nashville because, I live right outside of Nashville. And when I had my dog boarding business, I would watch his dog. He has a pit bull named Martha, which is like the
Oh,
sweetest girl ever. And he is super, super, super talented and was really excited to trade some service. I actually traded dog boarding for his work on that. And he did such a phenomenal job. Like,
especially when he plugged in the little
oh,
quail crows.
it's
I
the
was
quail
just like,
crow.
yes.
Perfect. It is absolutely perfect. I just love it. I just feel like I don't know. It's like the essence of us. It's
Yeah.
just upbeat, happy little jingle. I love it.
Yeah, same.
And then Ariel Parker did our logo and some of our graphic design for us. Um, Ariel's was Savage Daughter Farm, and Ariel was the first person that we both thought of when we wanted to do a logo.
And she came up with it quick, and she did such a wonderful job.
Fantastic. And we actually I think when she sent us the logo, we were both like, "Yep, that's the one."
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah, and then with our little graphic, this one, she tweaked a couple of things for us and was just
Yeah.
so responsive, and it was just great. So thank you to both Ariel and Josh.
Yeah, they did wonderful jobs.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit to the name, Two Chicks Coturnix.
Yeah. So it took us. We were bouncing a lot of ideas around.
Yeah.
A lot. And then, of course, searching to see if someone already had those names.
Yep.
I remember doing a lot of that.
Yep.
And then we were going to call it Two Chicks, but with the CK.
Yep.
Instead of the X.
And it was Michael Rose.
Yeah.
Michael that suggested that we do it with the CHIX. Yep. And that was just perfect. We're like, okay, that's it.
That's it.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a fun process. It's
the fun about it has been the best part.
Yeah. I have not gone back and watched our first episodes. I'm kind of scared.
I don't watch. I don't go back and watch too many of them. I don't know why. I'll listen to them though.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm kind of scared to go back and see how bad, it was in the beginning.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah, it was. We used to do a lot of things when we started out that we don't necessarily do now. We used to, kind of talk about what was new in our lives, or what we were working on, projects, tell funny stories.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Like,
I don't know either. I just think things kind of like, they fall together. They fall into place.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like we should bring some of that back at some point.
Probably.
Yeah. The other thing that I had a lot of fun with is in the beginning, we would bring guests on that were interested in discussing with us whatever topic we were working on.
Yeah, I'd like to do more of that into the coming year for sure.
Yes, I really enjoyed doing that. We kind of moved it, just for those of you listening, we kind of moved away from doing that a little bit just for scheduling wise.
Yeah.
Everybody is so busy, and Leah and I are beyond busy. So it's generally like,
Sometimes
hey,
we're like, oh, I've got an hour here. Do you got an hour? Okay, let's get it done.
Yeah, can you jump on now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a thumbnail. Like literally, we will like rough out an outline as we're sitting here talking right before we film sometimes.
Right.
So, but I would like to plan ahead a little bit more and see
I'd
about
like to
getting
do
some
a few
people
more
on.
live shows as well.
Yes, which is, timing
Those
is
are my
another
favorite,
reason.
but yeah, it's always it has to do with timing and what happens in life. So
yeah. And it's easier for us to pre-record and then, drop it later, versus like have to be at some place, like
specific
on
time and,
at a specific time and be ready. Cause oh gosh, yeah, there's so much going
life
on,
does not always go as planned.
but we make it work because
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I am having the best time doing this show.
I love this so much.
One of the things that just lights up my day is when I will be scrolling through Facebook, like the various quail groups, and I'll see a question and I'll be like, "Oh, we have a Two Chicks episode for that," and I'll open it up and see somebody has already commented with that episode, and I'm just like, "Yes!" It makes me happy that people see a value in what we're doing.
Yeah, and that was the whole reason behind why this concept came to be, is because just to get information out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two of us really we like science, and we like to we
we're
generally
both educators at heart. Like,
yes,
that's just who we are.
And we are people who have raised thousands and thousands of birds. Yep. I mean,
and I've been raising, okay, not necessarily quail, but I've been raising birds since I was a young kid. Yeah, I started with zebra finches. Those are my first birds.
Yep. So oftentimes people will get into the quail world, get super excited and start trying to educate, but it's before they actually have experienced a lot and know kind of the ins and outs and have made the mistakes. Whereas, we've made those mistakes and then we have learned how to do it in the right way. We found the right people, gotten the right answers, looked at the right scientific studies. We still are learning every day.
Yeah, every day is a new challenge and something new. And again, I'm thankful to have such great mentors in my life that I can help skip some of the mistakes and be like, hey, have you tried this? Does this work?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what this show is about, is going, here's our experience. Here's what we've learned. Here's what we've researched, and sharing that with everybody to help move them forward a little faster.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe learn from our mistakes.
Right.
Okay.
There's plenty of them.
So let's talk about, let's go to our questions.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because I know we had a few.
Okay. I'll let you go first.
Okay, here it is. All right, so Mike asked, what was the reason for your initial interest in quail?
So for you,
sustainability.
Yeah, for you, it was sustainability and meat and stuff.
I had no idea I was going to go down the color crazy place. that was not on the agenda, but it got placed there.
Yeah. For me, I talked about, okay, I got free birds and then I fell into the genetics. But for me, I really liked the challenge of, I was breeding chickens and, working with large breed fowl that take a couple of years to mature. And I like the idea of taking each generation and trying to make it better.
Yeah.
Working towards a standard, working towards, just weeding out defects and all the things. But I also, I'm impatient.
I know they're so fast. That's what makes them so much
Yes.
fun, is how fast like you can get to a certain point.
Yeah.
And
So
see results.
when I found out that I could get like 4 generations of a line in a year, I was like, oh my gosh.
Instead of waiting an entire year.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah.
I was so excited about that. And, when I found out that there are, still things to be studied, still so much that we don't know about quail, and so many combinations of genes that haven't been done, I was like,
and all the newness. They're still so new. There's so much
yeah,
we don't know.
yeah. There's always something to keep me interested. There's always, instead of it's just I want to try to make this line better, I want to work on the conformation and stuff. I get that, but also, oh wow, I've had this random gene mutation pop up, now I've got to study this, or
Right.
like let's see what happens when you combine these multiple genes. And there's just, it never gets old, it never gets boring.
Yeah, that does it for me. Like, it lights me up when I've created a new combo and it worked out. I've had plenty that just don't come together right.
Yep.
Yeah, when it works out, when your vision like comes to life, it's really cool.
Absolutely. And I just love the birds. I love their cute little faces.
Yeah,
I just do. Going in my quail barn makes me happy. It's not, I mean, it's a lot of work. There's a whole.
Yeah, they are a lot of work, especially when you have the scale that,
Yeah.
both of us have. You still have more than I do, but they're totally worth it. To me, they are.
Yeah. I'll just slide a brooder open or a grow out pen, and just, they'll come up and they'll be pecking at my ring and looking at my fingers and trying to hop out my face and stuff. And I just love them. They're just,
I love when they play. That's the cutest thing ever.
A little bounce.
Like, hop around and
So all of the things. I didn't go into this wanting to have thieving at our farm business.
That's the thing with me. That was never on the game plan. That was never there.
No, part of it.
Have a little backyard nursery. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. I was just gonna, play with colors and, whatever.
Yeah. I never thought I'd be sharing them with so many people, but I'm really glad I'm able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Carly wanted to know, have you ever had a quail or any animal you're working with that's not supposed to be a pet, that wasn't up to your standards, but you couldn't cull or process because of its personality? I'm currently struggling to come to terms with needing to cull one of mine. She's so friendly to me when I come around, but she's way too small, not from good stock, not one of the gingers I got as hatching eggs from Leah, and doesn't even really have good body shape. She's just so funny. Whenever I'm out working with them, she's so bossy to me, begging for mealworms and chattering to me. She is really friendly, but doesn't really have anything else worth passing on. So what are your thoughts on that?
If that specific bird pulls at your heartstrings, you need to hold her back. And I've had, throughout my time, I have a pen that is like my retiree pen. Mm-hmm. And basically I put like my egg layers in there. There's no boys in there. Nothing gets pulled from there for hatching. It's anybody special or someone who retired that I just don't have the heart to do that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So you know that I am the cull queen. Like, in this show, I'm always like, cull it now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, pretty much anything, quail breeder wise, like if it has a defect, it gets cold. I'm not going to risk that getting into my gene pool. We all know that. I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah. Yep.
And then one day I went to Tractor Supply, and I don't look in their chick bins anymore because, like biosecurity, and I have enough. Okay. I don't need Tractor Supply chicks. Okay?
Right.
But I heard some little quacks, and I'll tell you what, ducklings pull my heartstrings. Ducklings are like the cutest beings on the planet. And so I just happened to walk over and I looked in and I saw this little duckling like run smack into the side of the um, water trough that they're in. And I was like, oh, that little duckling's blind. And I was like, excuse me, excuse me, I need this duckling. And so she pulled it out and it had no eyeballs. Okay.
Aw.
Now, if a quail hatched in my barn with no eyes, it's not going to last longer than for me to notice the defect. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for some reason, I decided at that moment that
You
that
needed
duckling
that.
to come home with me. And you can't just have one duckling. So I had to get him two seeing eye duckling friends. And now we have Stevie Wonder Duck, we built a separate pen for Stevie and his two friends, Puddles and Ponder. Oh, wait, no, Plucky and Ponder. Puddles is another duck we have. And built, like, it had to be a smaller pen so that way he could be able to find food and water well. But I have a complete, it was a drake. So not even going to lay eggs. The most worthless creature on our farm.
Are the other two like girls? Like, or
no, one of them was. Okay. Yeah, one of them was. Plucky was a boy, but they live in complete harmony. Stevie Wonder Duck is perfectly happy. He does his little duck thing. He did get what is it? Wet feather, or whatever the other day, where their feathers don't shed water like normal. So I had to come in, bring him in. I gave him a bath. He got to spend the night inside. I mean, like, this is the most worthless creature on our farm, other than my 3-legged Chihuahua. But we love him, and he has a place here. So, all that being said, Carly, if you love your little quail, just love her. It's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, you don't have to breed her. But you can do whatever you want with her otherwise.
Yep.
That was a 2-part question.
And then we're going to need to know what her name is once
yeah, we do.
Get past that part.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah.
And pictures. I would like to see pictures.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Carly also wanted to know, how do you recommend talking to and possibly introducing processing meat animals to kids? I'm going to leave this one to you because I don't have kids.
Oh, okay. So, that's kind of a loaded one. It depends too on the age of the kids as well. So mine were introduced right around the age of 11. My son, okay, my kids are now 17. I got twins. But anyway, my daughter can pluck and clean a quail faster than I can. And I can do one pretty fast. My son won't touch them. Won't do it. He's not into it. He's watched the whole process. He's learned the whole process. It's just not for him. But before we started, and they were about 11 the first time they actually got their hands dirty with it, we had talked about it a lot and about where food comes from. But it's really going to depend on like the age of the child, how much they understand, and the best way to introduce it.
I grew up on a farm where we raised all of our own meat. Not all. I mean, we bought stuff at the store too, but it was not unusual for me to sit down and, eat a hamburger after noticing a few days before that our cow was gone. Like,
Yeah.
we raised our own pork and stuff like that. And I don't remember there ever being like a conversation or anything. It was just like a way of life.
Yeah. It's just we're such a different time, especially when people haven't been raised that way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like how do we approach it? Because so many, so many people are coming back to homesteading, but it's like
Hmm.
a lot of us are like, oh, we want to cook some chicken tonight. Okay, we just go pick up a package and throw it in the oven, and there's no
Yeah,
thought process to where what happened to the actual chicken.
exactly.
Um, and unfortunately, a lot of our kids haven't been exposed to that. If you haven't
Hmm.
lived that lifestyle,
Yeah, and I guess it was easier since I had grown up that way from the start. If your kids are already, you know, a little bit older and you're deciding to get into this lifestyle, or just it doesn't even have to be a lifestyle, you're deciding to butcher some quail.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess it would be a change, something that they wouldn't be used to like it was with me. It was just like a way of life for me.
yeah. And my biggest thing too is like, yeah, my son doesn't really like to do it, but at least he knows how
Yeah,
to do it, so that if he was ever in a place or space that he needed to, he'd be able to do it for himself.
I think it's really, for me, one of the things about raising my own food, um it makes the meat that I get from the store more valuable. And what I mean by that is I don't want to, like, if I buy a package of chicken, um I don't want it to, like, I want to make sure I use it and I cook it, because that was a living being and I don't want to just waste it by, oh, darn it, I didn't get around to it, I'm just going to throw it out. Like, for me, having raised my own meat and gone through that process and realizing, like, putting that connection of it's not just meat in cellophane wrapper, like,
Right. It
it
was
was
actually
alive
life
at one
there at one
time.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, it was doing its thing at one time and it was happy, like,
Right.
um, it makes it more valuable to that extent of, like, I'm not as wasteful, if that makes
Oh,
any sense.
definitely, definitely. That makes sense. I mean, once you see the full circle of, from hatch to table, it really brings it home.
Yep.
And the value of it home too. Because I
Yeah.
know a lot of people, they want to buy the cheapest whatever they can get, but once you see what actually goes into,
Mhm.
getting that bird to a table.
Yep. And seeing, one of the things that I've seen is what, like, the quality of feed does.
It does. That's what I tell people all the time. It's you can't feed them cheap feed. They
Mhm.
actually eat more of it because they're not getting the nutrition that they need. And a
Garbage
lot of
in, garbage
times,
out.
yeah, exactly. And then you're putting that garbage in your body, So yeah, the better that you can provide to them is the better you're going to get for yourself.
Absolutely. All right, ready for the next question?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Pigment and Plume Farms had a number of questions, which I'm really excited
All
about.
right.
Okay, so the first one was, which aspects of your business were your first focus and why did you pick those?
Okay, so I'll start here with I never expected this to become a business.
Same.
That was not on my radar. So, what actually happened in my situation is someone asked if they could buy some eating eggs. And I was like, I don't know. I have to see if I'm allowed to do that. And that set me down into actually getting my license, which is required for the state of Florida to sell eggs. And then, so I was selling eating eggs to people. And then someone asked if they could buy birds. And I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. So I went and researched that as well. And of course, found out there was another permit for that here in my state. So, and then mostly the hatching egg and live bird stuff has been the biggest part of it. But I've kind of followed the market wherever it has taken me.
Cool. So for me, because my first entry into the quail world was purchasing eggs on eBay, I started out by selling eggs on eBay. Just as an assortment, because my birds were, pretty much genetic soup. So, um, as I, started picking out the different genes and isolating them and making them their own lines, then I started adding things. But in the beginning, I only just wanted to pay for feed. And
That's was
yeah,
my thing too. If I could raise the birds and it not really cost me anything, it was really
yeah.
awesome.
And then as my habit grew, because, you can't just have just
20 birds.
no, you can't. As I picked out more and more genes and then discovered there were genes I didn't have, and then I had to have those, and then it was like, okay, well, now I need to sell more eggs to afford to buy a new cage or a brooder or whatever. And
Yeah,
so I
all the birds.
always just yep, I just invested. I never set out to be like, I'm going to be the next quail farmer, like.
Yeah, that was never a thought in my mind ever.
But I'm really glad that that was how I started out, because one
Same.
thing that you've seen this over and over and over in the spring, people get excited.
Yeah.
They want to be the next big quail farmer. They buy all the things.
Yep.
They invest a ton of money, but they don't yet have a market. They don't have a customer base. They don't have their niche. And then by fall, winter, they're selling out and moving on to something else.
Yeah, I see that a lot, and it varies year by year on like how much of it there is. But yeah, I grew with my customer base.
Yep.
I grew as it grew,
Yep.
and I've still continued that today.
Absolutely. I'm glad that I just reinvested as I went, as I grew. I just
Same.
reinvested, and didn't get too crazy with it to start out.
Right, right.
Okay, so number 2, if you were making a recommendation to new quick folks just starting out wanting to make a business, what would be your biggest takeaway or lesson learned? I think we just said it.
Yeah, I think we did too. So my biggest thing that I will plug in here though is you need to figure out what your local market is, because that's basically where you're going to start. So what is going to drive you most locally, depending on where you live? So are people, is the area already flooded with other people selling live birds? Is there a big market for you for eating eggs or meat, or what about the pet markets? So I would start researching your area and go from there.
On the flip side of that, I always say go with what you love.
That too.
So, if there's people will jump in and go, what color do you think I can make the most money on? Or what, whatever.
That's the thing. Every year it changes.
Exactly.
Every year, like it'll be one year. Everybody's like, "Oh, everybody wants fee." Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody wants fee. Everybody's ordering fee, and then the next time it's like they want this, and then it's something else, and you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
So I say find, if you're working with color, I mentioned color because that's what I love most. Whereas, you love color and stuff, but you also have a drive more towards putting food in your freezer.
Yeah.
So I definitely breed for size and all that stuff as well, but I always mention color because it's my favorite. But whatever it is, figure out what you really love. And, it's kind of like the movie, if you build it, they will come. If you are passionate about it and put that passion into your birds, people will see that. So I definitely agree with you. Definitely, find what the market wants, but also make sure it's what you want to.
Definitely. Yep. I agree with that 100%.
Yep. Okay. Do you have a favorite quail in your current breeding groups?
Like a favorite color or just a quail?
I don't know, both. I'm not really sure, but let's just say both.
My favorites are probably the gingers because they're super, super sweet, but my current favorite is the progressive hybrid.
Yeah, say that a little louder.
I don't
Because
know
you
if it
kind of
was
faded out. I want to make sure everybody can hear you.
So my current favorite for personality is the gingers. Like any variety of the gingers, they're
Yeah.
super sweet. And then the progressive pie blacks that I'm working on.
Yeah.
That they aren't ready, but maybe soon.
Whatever my current new project is always ends up being my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, and then the Rue Cardoons. I've been working hard on those. So
yeah.
Oh, and then the Rue Pansies. I don't know. I don't have a favorite.
So I have to say,
each one in their own way.
just for looks, my Splash, I just absolutely love the little faces on Splash.
They're super sweet.
They have these sweetest little faces, and I love that they come in all different colors. Like there are no two that are alike, but I love their head shape and their just facial expression. They're just absolutely precious.
They're sweet. They're almost as sweet as the gingers.
Yeah. And with that, so I was sorting birds a while back with my farmhand. And I had one extra male. Like I had sorted my males. I only needed 3 out of like a big group. And I got down to 4. And there was this one boy, and I was just like, I just can't, there's not enough. And he was just so cute and so sweet and so personable. He just went on the floor, and my farmhand named him Banana, and now he lives on the floor running around. So,
well, that works too.
Yeah. There's a banana on our floor. Okay.
Oh, parkour.
Yes, parkour as well. Yes,
that could go back to Carly's question. You can have favorites, and you can name them.
How did I forget parkour?
I know. I was just thinking about that. And then you haven't posted photos of bananas, so that has to be a thing.
Yeah, I really need to start posting. But you know what happened? I actually ended up raising up some more Splash. And since Banana was such a great bird, I gave him his own breeding group. So he's no longer on the floor. For those of you who don't know about parkour, I had a bird that escaped out of a cage. Imagine that with parkour. And
web clippers.
Yeah, you know that quail are supposed to be ground birds. Parkour was not.
Oh, he was all over the place, like a cat with scratching post.
Yeah, I mean, like parkour. I'd like walk into the quail room and he'd fly at my face. So I'd be like parkour, or I would just like look up and he'd be on like the 5th level, like super tall, of one of like just hanging out with some birds, drinking their water or something. I mean, like, dude, you're supposed to be a ground bird. And so, yeah, that's how he got his name, because he was just like all over the place. Never knew where he was going to be.
I think we need a picture posted pretty soon.
Yes. I need an update. Okay, last question from Pigment and Plume. Any new or upcoming projects this year you are passionate or excited about that you haven't shared yet?
Yes. But I'm not sharing yet.
Yep. If we haven't shared, there's usually a reason. I've got a couple top secret things. Yeah.
Secret stuff. Yep. And a lot of times, when we don't share, it's because we aren't certain about things yet either.
Well, a lot of times if I don't share, then it means it might be a new super secret surprise selection.
That too.
Which if you aren't familiar, I can't imagine anybody's not familiar. But if you're not familiar with
for the new people tuning in.
Yes, this is true. If you're not familiar with the Thieving Otter Farm super secret surprise selection, then I need to tell you about it right now. This is like the craziest thing I've ever come up with. Okay, there's a group for it. You need to go find the group
because it's a fun group.
It's a fun group. It's a really, like, there are some really happy, fun, wholesome, silly people in that group. I just love it. There's
no drama in that group.
No drama. Ever. No. I have only So there are over 3,000 people in the group, and it's been going on for a few years now.
Since the
I've only had to
ginger.
remove
Yeah,
one person, and I've given
that's
like,
pretty amazing.
yeah, and I've only like removed a couple of comments just because people got, maybe a little snarky or something, and just to keep the harmony of the group. But other than that, everybody gets along.
Yeah.
So anyway, I created this group with the idea of, what if I came up with something super, super cool that nobody had seen before, and then sold it to you without telling you what it was going to be? Like, you're going to buy the eggs and I'm going to ship them to you, and you're all going to hatch them out, and nobody's going to know what they are until the big release a while later.
Right.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there were the first one was a lot of fun because there were these little teasers and
The otter in the orange
hints.
sweater.
Yes. So the very first one was Ginger, and this was before Ginger was in circulation, and nobody knew what it was. It hadn't yet been revealed. Michael Rose had found it, had named it, had studied it, and had given it to me, and I just like was holding it. And then he decided, you know what? I'm going to let you release those. And I'm like, ew. So that was super nice of him. And so I did it as a super secret surprise selection. Everybody bought ginger eggs. Nobody knew what they were. But I was posting pictures, like you said, of like an otter wearing a ginger colored sweater. And it was sold in the fall. So it was no big deal to see an otter in a sweater, dancing in leaves that were ginger colored. Like I did an AI photo. This was like early AI, so these were bad. But like of a ginger haired lady, a red haired lady, you cuddling with an otter. It was so great. Nobody had a clue because he'd never heard of ginger. So I was able to give all these hints and clues without
It's
people
fun
realizing.
watching people try to guess like
Yes.
what was coming.
Michael even jumped in with a riddle.
I remember that. Yeah, that was funny.
So that was fun. So yeah, back to the question. We have projects. Some, may work out, some may not. And then some may end up being a super secret surprise selection later on, or big release. Yep.
Lots of fun things behind the scenes.
So did we get any questions on our? Oh, we did. Ooh, let's see what we got. Okay, Leah, do you want to read any of these, or do you want me to
I
keep
have
going?
to find it.
Okay.
Let me refresh.
Oh, my nose is itchy.
Okay, Micro Raptors asked, what were some of the hardest challenges?
Okay, so one of my smaller challenges, I don't know if this is what Micro Raptors Farm was referring to or not, but I'm gonna tell the story anyway. So we have a water system, an automatic water system, where we have one valve that you turn on, and it connects from that valve to every single one of the water buckets in our quail barn in a line, one right after another. They're all connected. And he turned it on, and then he left and forgot to turn it off. And he left at about 3 o'clock. And every night I go in and close up the quail barn, and I top off waters, top off feed, make sure the babies are okay, all that stuff. And that day I had been I think I'd been hunting, and we didn't get home till late. It was about 11 o'clock at night, so that water had been running
Oh my
from
gosh.
3 to 11. And I walked in there, and before I opened the door I could hear a waterfall, not just a trickle.
Oh,
I could hear a waterfall. And what had happened was The quail buckets or the water buckets sit at the top of each cage. Each cage is a stack of 5 to 6, cages. I should say at the top of each stack. And then each stack has 5 to 6 cages underneath it. So the water came out of the bucket into the poop trays of the first, and then it rained down into the poop trays of the second and third and fourth and fifth, and also into their feed. Each feed container filled up with water and overflowed.
And you
And
said that
then
was a small
what's
challenge.
that? Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, bigger challenges, I think, are like, oh, I've been working on this project and now I see I've got this major defect, and what do I do? This was a big problem at the time, but we got through it.
Right.
But I just, like, it was one of those things where I just stood there, and I'm not a crier. I'd never get emotional. I'd never cry, but I just stood there and I just started having tears stream down my face. And I called Frank and I was like, I need you in the quail room. So we had to, there was like, so we had to clean out food, or, the feeders.
I can just imagine the mess.
The poop soup, the
smell
floors. It was so bad. It was so bad. I was just like, everybody wanted to know, did we fire our farmhand? And I was like, no.
It's a mistake. We're all
It's a
human.
mistake.
So,
he didn't mean it, and I've done it before. I've never done it that bad. I've never left it on for that long. But yes, I have done a minor flood before, but that was probably, yeah, it's a little big challenge.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
So the hardest challenge, I would probably have to say when we got hit by Hurricane Milton.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest thing that has come up so far. I mean, there's been lots of other little things along the way, but that one has hit me the hardest, to the point where I've got PTSD from it.
Literally.
Yeah. We lost a lot of birds, and there was a lot of cleanup, and there was damage, and I didn't even know if I was going to be ready for spring this year. I really didn't know if I was going to be ready.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
that was really bad. Yeah, that was a big challenge. Big challenge.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it was such a mess. And then I was growing out, lots of young birds for spring breeders at the time. And I basically had to just start all over.
Yeah.
So, and I almost lost a few of my lines because of that situation. Yeah. But we're still here. We made it through. Still going.
Yep. And learned a lot in the process. How to be, better prepared, things that you would do differently.
Yeah, I changed a lot of how my year flows just based on that one event.
Yep. Yeah, I know that you were talking about, like, not hatching, not incubating during, parts of the hurricane season, like you were worried about certain things, and, you definitely, I saw that you had changed a bunch of stuff, just
I did
how you did stuff.
Yeah, bulk of my hatching, like before and after. I still hatched a little bit during that time, but nothing that it would impact me like it had.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Mike wants to know, roughly how long do Coturnix hens continue to lay eggs regularly?
So this is going to be dependent on how you raise them, if you raise them with light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you give them that natural, like, time off, you're going to get more time out of them, but you're getting, you have all the short days during the year where they're not going to lay. And that's basically their rest time. But if you push them through that, they're not going to have as long of a laying life.
Yep. We replace our breeders once a year. If they were just laying hens, we could probably, keep them longer and get eggs from them. But you're absolutely right. Using lights and not allowing them to go through a molt and not allowing them to have that downtime is hard on them, and does shorten the amount of time that they're going to lay. Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing I hear people too. They're like, oh, you have to put them on lights in the winter. You don't.
No.
If you just have, if you just have them for, pets or for yourself and you want to give them that natural rest time, do it. It's really good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Kathy wants to know, how long have you been raising quail? So let's start there.
I got my first ones in, I believe it was 22.
Mine were in 2020 during COVID. So, yep. And then how long have we known each other?
23. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
It was 22. Probably.
Was it?
I think the end of 22 or beginning of 23. I would really have to look back to figure that out.
I know that I had seen you in the groups and stuff. I'd
and I
seen your business name.
Yeah.
But
I
actually,
21 when I got the first. I gotta go look back and look. I gotta go scroll back in pictures and figure it
out. Yeah, I like actually becoming friends and chatting and stuff was whenever that consult was.
That was definitely in 23. Because
was it 23?
I started, the Rue Pansy project.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was about to look it up.
I know. I might still look it up just to double check and verify.
Okay. I'm going to do it. I just need to know. So, yeah, let me pull this up here. But yeah, I'm so glad that you did that consult. I've met some really cool people doing consults.
Yeah, I've chatted with some really awesome people.
You were my very first consult.
Cool.
And that was September 20th of 2023.
All right.
So there you go.
That's official timestamps.
There you go, Kathy. There is an exact time that would like that conversation is when we're like, we're friends.
Yeah. You're allowed to call me and rate me, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can chat a little bit and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure we messaged back and forth a little bit, but like, I think that was the exact moment where we're just like, oh yeah, we mesh well. We're friends.
Right.
We're going with this. And okay. And last question that Kathy had was, do you both raise the same color varieties?
Some and some no. And also, like you've got backups for me too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That is one thing that we both find really important, is we don't put all of our eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Things happen. Fires happen, tornadoes, hurricanes, disease, who knows? Things can happen and that can wipe out your stock. So when it comes to special lines or special genes, something that I can't replace or Leah can't replace, we share them with each other or with somebody else that's trusted. Leah was the first person to get progressive pied when I got it. Was the only person for a long time. And it was mainly because I didn't want to risk having them and something happening.
Right. And then I had to take out my insurance policy this year.
You did? Yep.
So, because I sent you the Rue Cardoons once I had gotten them, figured out.
Yeah.
I had sent some to you, and I had a water system failure during the summer, during the high heat indexes during the summer, and I almost completely lost all of them except for females. And
I remember when you called me, just the sound of your voice.
Yeah, I was in tears. Yeah, because that was 2 years of work of just trying to figure out what I had, and then I had finally gotten it to a point where like I knew what it was, and yeah. You had stuffed it. You had built them into a really nice line, and luckily you sent me some, and I had. Yeah, I'm thankful that I did that.
Yeah. And the purpose of, in both cases, um it wasn't for either of us to turn around and just start selling them or anything like that. It's simply, I have them for you, I will keep them here safe, I'll maintain the line, and if something ever happens, they're yours.
Yeah, we know that it's not lost.
Yep. And in the case of the Progressive Pied, there actually was a conversation where I was like, look, I am blacked out. I have banded blacks and I have regular black and everything. And I was like, the black Progressive
Yeah, I
Pied.
remember us talking about this because I told you, I was like, you need to make black Progressive Pied. This
Yep.
has to be a thing. This must be a thing.
And I knew in my heart that they'd be really popular because they're absolutely beautiful. But for whatever reason, I was just like, I have other directions I want to go with. Black isn't really, I mean, like, I know that they'd be valuable and people would want them, but I've got enough black here. And I was like, please, Leah.
Over here, I have this like covey of blacks and I don't know what I want to do with them. And
yes.
It just worked out. Yeah.
I was like, please take these and run with them. Yeah, do it.
And I'm glad. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Well, and the thing is, like, if I go back in my phone, because I have like 50,000 billion quail photos.
Yes.
I have like screenshots of people's black Progressive Pied that are
yes.
In other countries from years ago that I saw, and I'm like, I need that bird.
They're striking. They are just absolutely beautiful. But the other thing that our listeners should know is that we are true friends and colleagues. We're not competitors in any way.
Yeah, and I've always, I've said to Rebecca, because it can happen to either one of us. We might get out of quail. We might stop raising quail, but, we're still friends at the end of the day.
Absolutely. But when it comes down to it, I want to see you succeed.
And same to you. Yeah.
Like with the black Progressive Pieds, I knew they were going to be super popular. And I was like, you need to run with these.
I want I'm hoping to have them ready. Like, yeah, I'm hoping.
And that's where I'm so happy that we have the friendship that we have, because we can share things like that. We can also share our projects like you did with your Rue Cardoon, and know that I'm not going to just turn around and make a whole bunch of them and sell them before you do or something like that.
Yeah.
We can trust each other.
What's also great too is, I'm sure other people know this too. You can sometimes get barn blind.
Yeah.
And you need another set of eyes.
Absolutely.
And yeah. It's like, what am I looking at here? What am I missing? Something seems off, and you need, we can bounce that kind of stuff off of each other.
Absolutely. I've done that in the past with Michael. I'm like, I'm going to send you some stuff. I don't care what you do with them after you grow them out. I just want your eyes on them. Yeah. Just tell me, tell me what you see that I should work on that I might not be seeing, because like you said, sometimes you get barn blind, or sometimes you just love that project so much. You
end up keeping and doing things like you normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because you're so invested. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful for our friendship. And I'm so happy for what it's turned into with, Two Chix and everything else.
Yeah. If you told me like me buying some hatching eggs in a Nurture Right 360, I'd be here today.
Right?
Like, what are you talking about?
Never in a million years. Yeah. I mean, look at us now. Like, we went from that to, you're the president of the American Coturnix Breeders Association. I'm the vice president. I've been on TV talking about quail.
Right. Yeah, I recently judged an event that had quail that was going. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's been a fun
crazy
ride.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And it's still, like you said, it's still so new. Yeah. There's so many things that are left that we can do.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, for those of you who are listening, the Western Kentucky Poultry Association just announced that they're going to be hosting a poultry show in February.
I'm going to try my best to be there.
Yes. So they are going to have quail. They were actually one of the very first shows, APA sanctioned shows that allowed quail to be judged in it. And
I'm still
so
working on trying to get Florida to allow it, but so far nobody's going.
yeah, it'll become more popular.
Yeah,
But
eventually, yeah.
I'm mentioning this here because we would love to meet some of our
Please come
fans.
join us.
Yes. So definitely come enter some birds. Mason Fields is going to be entering. He beat me at the last one. So yeah, you gotta go up against Mason. So, yeah. So definitely check it out. Western Kentucky Poultry Club. Look them up.
We'll have to post that here later.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So I looked through. I don't see any more questions.
I thought we had one more.
Yeah, there was just one more comment. Would you like to read that comment?
Luke said he just make it a super duper long because I'm watching this with a glass of wine after a tiny human bedtime.
Well, at like an hour and 15 minutes, I think we accomplished that.
Yeah.
Luke, I hope you enjoyed the show. Luke's a great supporter. We're gonna have to have him on sometime.
Definitely, we need to for sure.
Oh, speaking of supporters, you got to talk about our.
I was just about to say something.
Yes, we have to talk about our little Santa gifts.
Yes. So big shout out and thank you to the Cluckety Homestead.
Yes.
We got some really nice Christmas presents from them.
Thank you so much. Speaking of which, Sarah from the Cluckety Homestead mentioned that she and her 2 daughters might be coming to that poultry show.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, I would love to meet those girls.
Me too.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I really hope they're able to make it.
Yeah, I hope I'm able to be there. I'm going to try my hardest.
Yes.
I will keep everyone updated.
So, well, that's all I have. How about you?
I think so too. I got to show off the pen though.
Yes, you got it. Yes.
If it shows very well on the camera.
It's a little dumpster fire.
Yeah. This is my life literally every day. So this is perfect.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Have a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays.
Yep.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.